everybody. It is August the 20th. We're 3/4 of the way through August. Can you believe it already? And it is episode 39 of Lessons in Leadership. A warm welcome to you all. My name is Mary Gregory, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome today Emily Harbrecht.
Thank you.
Hello, Emily.
For having me. So pleased to be here.
My absolute pleasure to have you. And I really love that you're my guest today, because we've talked to leaders, and in the last year, we've talked to leaders from all walks of life, leaders who are leading innovative solutions for elderly living, leaders who are working with women, leaders who are working with mentors, all sorts of different leaders that are creating different things in the world. But you are the first person we've had today who is someone who is focused on children, and particularly on children's mindsets and their understanding of the world. So it's a real delight to have you here. Thank you for being here, Emily.
So much. It's an honour, and I've really enjoyed the variety of guests you've had on, and I'm pleased to be here to talk about the next generation.
Yes,
it's really exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, and a very important generation, because you know how our children grow up, they will dictate how our world eventually becomes, because they're going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So tell me a bit more about what drew you to work with children and to develop your program and your tools that are particularly focused on children's mindsets.
Well, for me, it did start with the adults. I learned some lessons later on in life, and many of my coaching clients were doing the same thing. And I just sat there one day and I thought, if I were to wind the clock back and work with these people when they were in those earlier years, how would things be different for them? How would their life be different? Would they have more opportunities? Would they be carrying the amount of stuff around with them, the unhelpful, limiting stuff? And where could they have gone with it? And I just thought, what is there for kids? Because I think sometimes we simplify things and we think that children can't grasp these concepts, when actually they dive right in and they run with these things. And that's what I've found. So it was all a sort of reverse engineering, like, what did I wish that I had looking back? And it started from there. It really did.
Okay. And so it's thinking about how could you make a difference, a very proactive step, really. How can you make a difference to people earlier in their lives, so by the time they get to adulthood, they've got less baggage?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's, for me, that's my whole attitude to the work we do. It's sticking plasters one thing, but if we can get back to the root cause and give them the tools and strategies that then change the course of their life and their decision-making processes, the stuff they carry that's unhelpful, things like that. I just thought, hey, imagine the possibilities for these kids. It made me sad, especially some of the adults I was working with, that just tiny little things I wish I'd known, that I've had to spend a lot of money and time and effort learning and experiencing along the way.
Yes, I'm smiling because that resonates so much with me. Yeah, I think we've all, those of us that are committed to being leaders and to making a difference in the world, it's always been about how do I get rid of those constraints that I put upon myself that date way back to when I was very young. So I'm smiling in acknowledgement of that, really. So can you give us a couple of examples of what tools you've created then? What would be an example of, if I was a parent at home listening to this, what might my child engage with? What might you get them to do that's going to help them with their mindset?
Well, one of the biggest things that I think now, after doing this for a good few years, is helping kids really understand that whatever goes on in here shows up in the body.
Yeah.
It's that connection, understanding that we can't separate it out. We experience our emotions, our feelings, our reactions to the world around us in our body. And that is a huge, huge thing. And so many adults don't get that. And they end up experiencing all sorts of physical ailments that actually come from how they think and feel. And helping kids understand that, they grasp the concept really easily. And what I also like is, and you'll know this from when we met back in our NLP trainer days, is that the quickest way to change how you feel on the inside is to change how you feel on the outside. So it makes the work with kids so quick, easy and fun. It gives them tools and strategies that they can run with. One tiny thing can give a massive payback in so many areas of their life. And the great thing about kids is if you teach them something simple like this, they go and teach all their friends and their family. So it's like that sort of water effect where you get the ripples,
yes,
and everyone benefits from it. So that's probably my favorite bit. Nice and easy and simple, and just helping them change how they feel really, really quickly.
yes. So, and how do they do that then? How do they change how they feel really quickly? What do they take away and share with their friends?
Oh, well, we do all sorts of fun stuff, and I fancy myself as a bit of a Mr. Tumbles with my kit bag, rolling around on the floor having fun. It's definitely my inner child work, but it can be something as simple as changing how we hold our body.
Yeah,
I do it with, depending on the age, we will bring in something that the child likes, loves, and enjoys, because then they'll take more ownership. So if a child has a character that they love, like, a superhero, if they're into things like that, we'll look at how they stand, how it shifts the feelings by holding your body differently, how you can breathe in a different way. If they're into nature, we might look at how you ground like a tree, the differences in the physiology. So there's no hard and fast rule. It's really flexible, but the reality is it's the same with us. If we're feeling emotional, if we're feeling nervous, if we're experiencing something unhelpful, you can normally see us doing something differently to when we're feeling really strong, confident, passionate.
yes.
So once they get that awareness and they join those dots, then the possibilities are endless.
Yes,
It's so easy.
yes. Yes, I love the idea that it's easy, it's simple, and that also the children engage with it so quickly as well, because, their children are so curious, aren't they? I mean, and we all have an inner child that is curious, but quite often we've suppressed that. But you're dealing with people at an age who still have that curiosity. And the fact they go and then share it with their friends, I mean, they're being leaders in their own community of friends from that point of view, aren't they?
Definitely. And that's what it's about. For me, it's not, one-on-one work, group work, whatever. It's not about something happening to you. It's something they can learn and implement. If that child can't walk away with a new way of showing up and behaving, then I haven't done my job.
Right.
So it's a gift. There we go. Take that, run with it. It's not magical. It's about passing the baton on, for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Great. I like that analogy. And speaking of passing the baton on, so you started out by working directly with children and training them in the mind tools, but now you've actually stepped up and are now working more with parents and with teachers. Can you share a bit more about that and how that shift happened?
Yeah, I think that was probably me stepping into my own leadership and taking the concept and thinking, it's great working with kids, and if I want to make a major positive impact, then I need more people. I need people to join me in sharing this stuff. So in the last 2 years, of course, throughout lockdown, which is perfect time to launch something new, isn't it? I've been working to help other people become Mind Tools for Kids coaches. So I've done all the hard work, as you know, over the years, all the studying, taking all the different strategies, simplifying it, testing it, working with the kids, and then packaging it up so that anyone, from a parent that wants to learn the skills and tools through to a leader in a school that wants to help their staff have more strategies, they can come and learn all of the Mind Tools for Kids tools, strategies and tips and fun things that we've got for kids ranging from 5 or 6 all the way up to the teen years and beyond.
Yeah,
so
that's fantastic. Really fantastic.
Really enjoyed that. And it's what I've enjoyed especially is that I get to coach the adult, because I'm helping them look at how they're going to implement this stuff, how they can step up and bring all of their life experience as well, but also knowing that it's going to reach a lot more young people.
Yes.
And spread the message, which for me is what it's about. It's about sharing it.
Yes, fantastic. Because one of the golden rules of leadership is about giving it away, isn't it? Give it away, so you don't necessarily have to do it. You give it to other people, and I get a real sense if you've reached that stage now where you are giving it away and you're empowering other people to hold the baton, as it were, and carry it on.
Yeah, it's not mine. none of this is mine. It's at the end of the day, it's a collection of things that work. I might have gone away, tested it, simplified it, packaged it up, because I think that's a skill that I have, that I know other people might not have time to do. But it's definitely no-brainer strategies that other people need. And I think that's the thing. It's no good keeping this stuff to ourselves.
Yes,
There's
yes.
so many kids out there. And I've said that when I've had new people coming to learn and do the coaching and join us. There's no shortage of schools, of families, of children. It's we're never going to have too many people doing this.
Yes, yeah, yes. So I know that you mentioned about, you know, the whole need as adults, we've got a lot, a sort of suitcase full of baggage, as it were, whereas a child, you've got very little, if any, at that point. You might have some little nuggets, but not masses like an adult might have. So if you're training adults, how do you deal with their baggage in training them? Because I'm thinking about myself as a parent here, that I know my journey through parenthood was not straightforward. It got me to challenge all sorts of limiting beliefs that I had that I thought at the time were okay. But as I was bringing another young person up in the world, I kept thinking, "Ooh, is that right? Should I be doing that?" And it got me to question myself. How do you coach the parents or the teachers that are taking on your tools to manage their own stuff?
Well, I just assume from day one that it's absolutely normal for stuff to come up. And the way I teach it is very much from, I will bring it back to my own experience as a child. I'll encourage the coaches to think back to what they experienced, to step back into their own shoes and look through their eyes in that experience, and to look, if they are parents, because not everybody is, but whatever their experience has been, to go back and to make reference to that. Because I really believe that when we apply things to self and we associate into them, that we can have a greater learning experience. And also just to embrace noticing what comes up. And there will be times that things will come up. And as you know, these things come up when we're ready to do the work. And for me, my message is that it's a continual process. It really, really is. And then my other little gem to them is, it's not about you. This isn't about your lack of confidence. It's not about you feeling, am I good enough? Do I know enough? It's about you being present for the person that you're with. It's about you being someone that they can model. It's about you leading them. It's about you holding the space for them to be vulnerable and switching off your own internal dialogue and being really present. And sometimes it's about you lending them some beliefs and positivity and sharing your own life's journey. Because I think with a lot of kids, when they realize it's not just them, that you've been there, you've experienced it, you're giving them permission to embrace their vulnerability and to let go. So the human experience is a gift in itself, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And that's it. If anybody that takes part, I hold the space for them to explore what comes up for them. And there'll be times, and I think I'm on the 4th run of the training now, where it will bring stuff up for me. It's a continual process. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love that approach, Emily, because it really is humanistic. It's holistic as well. And it's accepting that we're all on our journey. And we for me, the journey never stops. I'll be on my journey till the day I die, probably. So, and that's what makes life so rich and gorgeous, really. So I love the way you're approaching that. That sounds great.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great. It's a work in progress. And I believe that the experience is different depending on who shows up. So that's the beauty of it. You never know which level is going to be added or where we'll go or where we might explore more. Yeah, I like that. So it keeps me entertained as well. Because
keeps you entertained. It also keeps you working as well. I can hear that you're processing stuff for yourself as you're working with people, which keeps you incredibly engaged, and it keeps it meaningful, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So great. So you've also written a book. And I was hoping to have a copy of the book today, but the post system has let us down. I haven't got it. But tell us more about it, because I can't wait to get my copy.
It's short and sweet. It's called The Brilliant Brain Friends, and it's about the relationship between what we feel, our body and our thinking mind based on triune brain theory. And I've just made it a bit fun for kids by bringing characters in. The 3 characters we've got for the lizard brain, we've got Lenny Lizard, we have Milo Monkey for the feelings, and very knowledgeable Orla Owl. And it's helping kids understand that, guess what? When you're a child, it's normal to have big feelings. It's normal to experience a full range of emotions in the body, and that thinking part is growing and developing with you. It's not always going to be working well together. They're not always going to be friends, those parts of your brain, but there are things that you can do to help them get on well and help them relate and understand to each other. So it's starting them on that journey to understand that we do experience good, bad feelings in our body. And when we think things through and we reflect and we work holistically, that we are more in control of our life's experience.
Yes.
So I had a great deal of fun with that. And I've got the characters made up as like puppets. And I've woven that into the coach training now, because I really think that with these kids, if you can give them a concept that they understand, then that's a great foundation for them. There's adults that don't understand this stuff. So I try and make it work in the right way for them. And I'm happy to say even the teenagers love the characters. They do.
Well, I cannot wait to get my copy. And what I'm thinking is, as you're sharing about what it's all about, it sounds like that's something that could be beneficial on the national curriculum in schools, because there's so little that's done in terms of preparing children. We do all the knowledge building and we've got really, really great at that, but there's not that much that's done to help prepare children psychologically and emotionally for the world that they're entering into.
It's just, there's so much we could do with this. And like I said before, anything that I do it's bigger than me and my input. And the best thing that has come out of getting some coaches on board with what I'm doing is they've come from all walks of life. They've come from leadership in schools, school governors, people that are already doing trauma work with children. And every time I get somebody new in, they bring a skill, they bring a connection, an insight that helps this movement get bigger. So we are looking at rolling some of this out with leadership teams in schools. We're looking at changing the coach training a little bit to make junior coaches so that we can change the culture of the school bottom up.
Fantastic.
Mentor each other and share the insights. So I think it's definitely something that is needed in that environment, especially with what kids have been through in the last 18 months. Definitely.
Yes. This sounds incredible. I'm going to keep watching you, Emily. I'll be keeping my eye on you because it just sounds so exciting, and like you're creating a movement that could make such a difference to society as a whole and to how children's experiences through their education and everything as well, which is fantastic. And what I'm also loving is your role modeling. You keep role modeling this very humble leadership with lots of humility. It's not about you. It's about the movement and about what the movement's about and what's the difference that can be made to the world as a result of that. I really love that.
I've said to you before, like, I'm an introvert. I've always liked coming up with ideas and things, but it was a push for me to think that anything would be my name, about me. There was real resistance from me there. And the turning point for me was realizing it's not about you. It's about that one person that could benefit from whatever it is that you've got to share. And helped me get out of my own way. And because I'm showing up as I am, I'm attracting people in who I connect with. And that's the great thing. Everybody that's coming on and doing the training with me is becoming a friend, because we're just gelling and moving forward from a place of respect, excitement. It's such a relief to show up and think, I'm being who I am.
Yeah. Sounds like a wonderfully warm and friendly community you're creating as well, which is great.
Great. It really is. I'm so excited to see where it goes into next year.
Yes, fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best with it. And I noticed that you said you're an introvert, And, you know, you don't want to be out there and have your name in lights or anything, but I would like to talk to you a bit more about your own leadership and your own leadership journey, and an important lesson for you that you experienced. So it's a time of our conversation when I'm going to ask you that question about, you know, a turning point moment in your life or in your work that really got you to sit back and go, yeah, and you took something on board. It was like almost like an aha moment. And it's shifted who you are and how you show up in the world today.
Well, it was definitely, God, it was 5 years ago now, and a friend of mine had introduced me to a business stroke visibility type coach person, Amanda, if you ever get to watch this. And you know, we had this conversation. She was like, "You come up with these ideas, and you've got these great concepts, and you know, I go and do the hard work, I do all this stuff, but I was just holding back, and it was showing up. And I had this real blocker around, oh, it's so egotistical to be seen online, to say me, to do videos. Just,
yes.
Oh, the internal conflict I had. And she really held me to account. And I remember her saying, you're going to do a video every day for the next 2 weeks. That's what you're going to do. I remember I went blood red, and she said, are you okay? I had all this psychosomatic stuff going on. I was literally recoiling.
Oh,
and
wow.
you know what? It was around about the time I was doing my NLP trainers training as well. And I was thinking, can I step into this authority thing? Like, brought up all this stuff from my own childhood, my own experiences in the workplace to that point. And I just thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that first video. I'm going to keep doing them. And I looked and thought, well, I've done it now. And it was that moment where it was like, it's not about you. There is that one person now sat there that needs to hear this. They need to see you overcome this. They need to hear your message. They might model you. They might get something from it. And if you've done that one thing, how can you not? How selfish is that for you to keep that to yourself? That's selfish. And I thought, I can't be that person. And it changed from then on. I just let go. I let go and thought, well, it doesn't matter what my hair looks like. It doesn't matter if I've had a bad morning. It doesn't matter if I've got all these excuses. It's not about me. It's selfish not to share. And if you've got something that can benefit others, something that can help, and especially if it's for free and it's from the heart, which all of my stuff is, it's all about the benefits for kids and families. It truly is. Then you've got to share it. And at that point, I suddenly felt more confident, more comfortable. I stopped being overly critical with myself. I let go and thought 80% is good enough. I let go of my own imposter syndrome. So much work changed in that period just by letting go and showing up.
That is phenomenal. And what I'm hearing is you really tuned into your bigger picture, your bigger purpose, and being there for others rather than there for yourself. That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm kind of, because I've been struggling with my own YouTube channel of late with some very similar concepts. So you've really got me thinking about how I might approach that. But I'm sure what you've shared there will resonate with loads of people, that often we just get caught up in the here and now and being worried about ourselves. But it's not about ourselves. It's about what are we out there doing and causing for the world as a whole and for other people.
Absolutely. And, it's such a relief to let go of our own overly complicated perception of, this must mean this, people think this. No one cares. But the people that do care are the people that want that message.
Yeah.
And it might not be now. It might be in 3 or 4 years. But you put yourself out there, you share, and it does have a ripple effect. It really, really. And actually, what surprised me was people say, I watch your videos. And I think, do you? I watch them. It meant something to me. And I was almost embarrassed at the time. I thought, oh, no, now I'm dealing with this whole issue around praise. Like someone's seen me. But, you let go and get over it and think, why am I doing this? What is this whole thing about? And just to stay focused on the bigger picture, the mission, and to get behind a movement. That's really, really helped me just switch all of that off.
That is so brilliant, and I'm so pleased to hear. That's a fantastic share for those others that might be struggling with how do I get myself out there Really, really powerful. Thank you, Emily. So it's nearly time. We're nearly at the end of our time. And, we're through lockdown. We've been out of lockdown for going on for a month, I think now. And we hope that with the vaccination program and things are going to start to turn a bit more to normal, but there's still lots of uncertainty around. So what are your parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with people before our time completes?
I would say to people, whatever walk of life you're in, whether you think you are a leader or not, you are a leader. This is the time to lead yourself, to look in the mirror, to reflect, and to really think about how you will consciously drive your life forward and connect it with your beliefs and values, what's important to you. Question, what does this give me? Because we often get stuck on autopilot doing, and we lose sight of why we're doing it and what we really get from it. And that's what lockdown did for me and for so many other people that I've spoken to. It was those moments where we stopped and thought, I really can have a say in this. I can drive this. What does this give me? What do I want my life to be? So just realize it's such a precious gift. We can do a lot of good with it.
Yes.
Lead yourself, no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah, that is fantastic words of advice, that we are the leaders in our own lives. We're in the leaders in whatever we're creating it. We're the leaders in that. So that is a fantastic message to leave people with. Thank you so much for your wisdom today. You've passed on so much wisdom, Emily. I've been really blown away by it. And I hope to be in touch soon. Let's stay in touch. You never know what's coming around the corner. So yes, thank you. And thank you to all of you who've been watching today. Do leave your comments in the box. We always do respond to them. And if you're watching and catch up again, do leave a comment. It's always lovely to hear from you and to hear your thoughts on what our guests are saying. And next week, we have the amazing Barry McNeil, who I worked with at Gatenby Sanderson, actually, and is now running his own business, Work Extraordinary. And it's quite a great setup that he's got going there, because it's all about thinking about how we need to be and what we need to do in terms of being leaders and creating great places to work in the modern age rather than the industrial age, which is where we were kind of traditionally grown up from. So he's going to be sharing all sorts of different insights and thoughts around that. Do join us again next week at 12 noon. We will see you then. Bye for now.